Welcome everyone to the weekly share of the Zera Shimshon. I'm trying to make this a little bit earlier this in the winter period because I know Friday gets very late, and if I post on Friday, then not everybody may be able to hear the share before Shabbos. So here I'm going here. It's Tes Zion in Israel. It's Tes Zion, Tavis Tafshin Pei Hey. And we're coming up to, a new month. This is Shem Adar. And we have another Mazel Tov. My grandson Elchanan got engaged to Nomi Lift. Elchanan Goodman to Naomi Lift. And Be'ez Hashem, the Chasna will be, Be'ez Hashem, I think they schedule it for right after the day after Purim in Eretz Yisrael. So it's a Monday after Purim. So hopefully we'll all be sober enough to dance at the wedding. All right, here we go. This is in Zera Shimshon in Parshat Shemot, Kapitel Yud Gimel. Pasuk says, "Lechu l'sivolei seichem." So Rashi says, "Lechu lemalachtechem sheyesh lachem la'aseis v'batechem." Very strange Rashi here. That go home and do the work in your house. Well, the laundry, the dishes, I don't know, sweeping. Shibud Mitzrayim, ava meleches shibud Mitzrayim lo yaisa al shiftoi shel Levi. But the work of the hard work, the shibud, right? The enforced work of the Egyptians on the Jews was not put upon the Leviim, the tribe of Levi. But Pirshu Chazal Shahaisa Siba Me'es Hashem. There was a reason from Hashem Lefisha Asidim Leseis HaMishkan V'La'avoid B'Mikdash. They were going to in the future carry the Mishkan. That was their job in the Midbar, and to work in the Beis HaMikdash. Okay. Now I know there's another reason that the Gemara says because they were learning Torah in Egypt. There's another reason. We'll see. Makshim halestama because it says ki ger yeh zaracha be'eretz lo lahem ve'avadum ve'inoisam. So it says they will be living in a land that doesn't belong to them, and they'll be served. They'll be slaves in that land. They'll afflict you. Af shevet Levi b'chlal zarecha, right? Isn't the tribe of Levi also included in your seed, which was talking about Avram? Why wasn't this part of the Gezerah fulfilled in them? The Michtav should have said, so he wants to switch around the words in the Pasuk to say that you will not have your seed in the land that doesn't belong to them, and you will live and serve in that land. In that configuration of words, it would have said, it would be mashma shekulam bechlal avadum, that everybody would be included in the slavery. It says ger bereisha, but first it says you will live. There will be a sojourner, they call it in English. Because of it, but then there's an interruption and says that they will be slaves and afflicted them. So the gezerah of gerus, which would be the sojourning part, will be including all the seed of Avram, af b'shevet Levi. In this time, gam heim gerim ba'aretz. They were also gerim in the land of Egypt. And furthermore, but furthermore, the becoming enslaved and being afflicted would only be included in those who fit that category. That's not including all of your seed. And furthermore, it says in Shmos Rabbah, and the pasuk, v'yakam melech hadash, a new king got up that didn't know Yosef. Kishemesh Yosef heferu bris milah. When Yosef died, they decided not going to do bris milah anymore. We're going to be like the Egyptians. We're assimilating. Since the Jews did that, so the Egyptians that they loved them before now turn into hatred. You want to become like us? Not so good. Shenemar said, "Hafach libam lisnoi amoy." They turned their hearts to hate them. The pasuk can tell them, Kufay. Afkan kasha ki im hayu mekaimim mitzvahs amila lo hayu mitzvim mishabdi myself. So similarly here, if they had been kept the mitzvah amila, they wouldn't have been subjected to this servitude. V'halei kvar nigzar agazera shel avadum v'inoisam. Why? 1 second. It was already decreed a gezerah that they would be enslaved and be afflicted. So the gezerah was only on being living in a foreign country. That's why it says first in the pasuk by Avram that you will be living in a foreign country. And afterwards it says, if you're not privileged, and if you're not privileged, you will be increased on in the servitude. And that's what it says later. Okay, we enslaved and afflicted. Since the tribe of Levi didn't deny or reject the bris milah in Egypt, it says, Ki shamu avesecha im rasecha overisa in Sairo. That's a pasuk in Devarim. They watched, they guarded your words, and your bris they guarded. Okay, two different words, shamu and insur. It's a same kind of meaning. Min hadin haya shalei hayu nami bechlal hashivod ela bechlal lageris. So minadin, they shouldn't be included in the shibud and the affliction and the slavery. They should just be living in a foreign country. Nami yuvan apasuk ger yeh zaracha be'eretz leilohem. That's what is the meaning of that pasuk. Shalachayra be'eretz leilohem him devorim miyutarim. Why does it have to say be'eretz leilohem? That's extra words. A ger is understood that he's not living in his country. Okay, Shahari, dai leimar ki ger yeh zaracha, right? Your children, your seed will be foreigners. Pshita shemishu ger eino yeshe be'artzai. Somebody that's a ger does not living in his land. Well, the feed darkenu asishav. According to what we said, it's very good. Shekach haisa gezerah makam kishiyu miskaimi be'eretz leilahem sheyeh nikar v'noida lehem be'eretz leilahem. That when the gezerah of the Hashem Yisbarach will be that when they fulfill this living in a land that's not theirs, it's known that it's not theirs. Dainu shehem ishuni mehem sheyesh lehem hamila. They're different because they've fulfilled the mitzvah of milah. That's why they're different. Then they fulfilled the gezerah of you will be living in a foreign land. That's what they said. So if it's not going to be a foreign land to them, means they're going to assimilate and be like everybody else and not do bris milah, so then they have to be meshubad. You have to be afflicted. You have to be in servitude. It's not recognizable that they're not acting in accordance with, they're acting in accordance with the locals. Then it will be increased on them the servitude and the afflictions. That doesn't contradict to what we said before. The Meforshim said, the Ikalamimah Shahazachus Shahaya Lahem La'avoid B'Mikdash Hi Amda Lahem Shalei Hefera Amila B'Mitzrayim. In other words, the schus that they had to serve in the Beis HaMikdash, the Levim, that did not that was not obliterated by doing that they didn't deny or reject doing bris milah in Egypt. That caused that the Egyptians didn't hate them. It's just the opposite of what people think, right? Oh, let's just, why don't we not stop this bris milah? It's archaic and barbaric or whatever they call it, but it's just the opposite. So we don't understand the spiritual consequences. The spiritual consequences are, if we do bris milah, then the Goyim will love us. And if we don't do it, they hate us. I said, they wouldn't have subjected them to be in servitude and afflict them just because they did bris milah. Like I said before, it said, "B'tchilas haparsha shekol sinasam haisa davka lefisha Yisrael hefira milah ayin sham." Just because I said earlier in Parshat, he explained that the reason why the Egyptians hated the Jews in Egypt is because they stopped doing bris milah. Mitzvah Shem, we should all have the Goyela Tzedek b'Meheira b'Yameinu, and we have Reiv Simchas and Smachas to God Yisrael and Refuah Shlema, and be all of the chastas should be released, not just some of them, and then hopefully they'll be all alive and not who knows what. Chas v'shalom. Have a wonderful Shabbos Kol Tov.